Yes, good morning, everyone. Yesterday, can anyone tell what was the last discussion in yesterday's class? Uh, what was the last problem we have solved last class? The previous class, what was the last problem we have solved?
Latest finish.
Latest finish. All right. So did we finish that problem?
No, sir.
Okay. So can you just tell me the list of activities? Activity.
Okay. Activity.
So how many activities are there?
8.
8.
Yes. Just tell me the activities. Which are the activities? 1-2.
2-3.
Okay.
3-4.
Ah.
4-7.
Okay.
2-5.
2-5. Okay.
5-6.
5-6.
6-7.
Okay. That's it.
7-8.
7-8. These are the different list of activities which we have considered in yesterday's class. Okay. Okay. Durations. What were the durations?
Ten.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
And 20.
Okay. These are the different durations. So these are the different durations. Okay. Fine. Okay. So the question was we had to determine the latest start and latest finish for activities. 1-2. Next 2-3. 3-4. 4-7. 7-8. Similarly, we had 2-3, 3-4, 2-5 is there. So important aspect here is you have to indicate the arrows so that we can get to know where exactly the activity has finished. 2-5 is done. Okay, these were the different activities. And 1-2 is 10, 2-3 is 8, 3-4 is 10, 4-7 is 3, 7-8 is 20, 2-5 is 10, 5-6 is 15, 6-7 is 5. Okay, so these are the different activities. All right. So can anyone tell what was the value of E8? E8 is equal to L8 is equal to how much?
60.
60 days. Is it right? Now, these things we have completed in the previous class. Let's go to the next one. Sorry. L7 is equal to L7 is equal to L8 minus duration. Have we calculated L7 in our previous class?
Yes, sir.
So what was L8? L8 is 60. 60 minus duration of 7 dash. 7 dash 8 duration.
20.
That means what? We have to complete the activity 7 dash 8 on 60th day. In that case, we have to finish the activity on the 7th node. We have to finish all these activities by 6:48. From here, 20 more days is required to complete this activity 7 dash 8. This will get over by 16. Correct. So that is the duration is 20 days. L7 is 40 days. This is done. Did we complete L6?
Yes, sir.
What was the equation of L6?
L7 minus duration of 6 activities.
L7 minus duration of 6 dash 8, correct?
7.
6 dash 7, okay. Okay, 6 dash 7. Why this is the case? Because sixth activity, we have to see, we are going in the reverse direction, and reverse direction in the sense like which activity actually starts from the sixth node is ordered for us, correct? Now L7 is finishing on 40th. What is the duration of 6 dash 7?
Five.
5.
Sorry, this is 5. The answer should be 40 minus 5, which is equal to 35. Correct? 35 plus 5 is 40, or 40 minus 5 is 35. So we are coming in the reverse direction. It is unlike what we have done in our previous problems. Okay, for early start problems, we have started from the first node and we went towards the last node. But in the latest calculations, latest start and latest finish calculation, we have to begin from the last node and then we have to move towards the starting. Okay. So this is completed. What was the next calculation? Have we completed the next one, L5?
No, sir.
Let me just say what is given in that works. Okay, until L6 is being calculated. That's right. So next we will see L5 is supposed to be calculated. L5, if you have to see, this is the fifth node, and which activity actually starts from the fifth node? 5 dash. Which is this activity? 6. Only one activity, is it right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So L5 calculation. So only one activity starts from the first node, that is 5 dash 6. Okay. What is L6?
35.
35. L6 is equal to 35. And the duration of 5-6?
15.
Duration of 5-6 is 15. That means, therefore, L5 is equal to, how much should be L5?
20.
20, correct. L6 is 35 and duration of 5-6 is 15. Therefore, L5 is equal to L6 minus duration of 5-6, which comes out to be 35 minus 15 to 20. Is it right? So this is the calculation. If there is any doubts, you can just ask me. Okay, so this is done. If you want me to stay in the previous screen, just indicate me. All right, otherwise just I will wait for 1 more minute. You can just make note of this. Simultaneously, who has already calculated L5, just try L4 calculation. Correct. So in the previous early start uh, problems, in order to calculate early start, we had determined how many activities finished on a particular node. If we were to calculate E5, then we would have seen how many activities finished on the fifth node. But now what we are doing is for the latest start and latest finish calculation, we are trying to determine how many activity starts from the fifth node. This is exactly the reverse. Okay, everything will be reversed for latest start calculation. Okay, next is was the last equation we have formed. L5 is calculated. Next is L4 calculation. So which activity starts from the fourth node?
4 to 7.
4 to 7. Activity that starts from the fourth node is 4-7, correct? So 4. Now what is L7?
40.
And the duration of 4-7?
3.
Okay. Therefore, what should be L4?
37.
37, correct. Correct. So all this explanation is not required in the examination. Directly, if you write the required solution, that is sufficient. That is L4 is L7 minus duration of so and so forth. Correct. If that is there, that is sufficient. Just calculate L3 in that case. Okay. So I'm just going to the next screen. In case if anyone wants me to stay in this particular screen, let me know. I'll go back to the previous screen. Okay. So L3 calculation. So which activity starts from the third node?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Three to 4. Okay. So what is L4?
37.
7. And the duration of 3-4?
10.
Okay. So what should be L3?
37 minus 10, which is equal to 27.
37 minus 10, which is equal to 27. That's right. All right. So this is the solution for 27. So in the examination, if you write only this much, that's sufficient. Finally, this answer should be correct. In case if this answer goes wrong, then the calculation will be seen. How you have considered the calculation. Further decision will be taken. So it's better you write the equation for L3 and then write this particular calculation. Okay. So what equation you are going to use for L3 calculation, that is to be mentioned, and then the next calculation, that is 1 minus 10. If you write this much, that is sufficient in the semester and examination. Okay. So how many equations you require for L2 calculation? So for L2 calculation, how many equations may be required? Or how?
2, sir.
2. Why? Because 2 activity starts from the second node. That's right. And by solving the 2 equations, you may get 2 values. And from that 2 values, you have to consider the minimum. All right. Why? Because this is exactly the reverse of what we have considered in the previous calculation, that is early start and early finish. Early start and early finish, we used to consider the maximum. Now we are supposed to consider the minimum. Okay. Okay. So this is done. Next, L2 calculation. And the activities that starts from the second node are, one is 2 dash,
3.
and next
2-5.
duration of 2 dash 3,
8.
L3 is how much?
27 days.
And 2 dash 5,
10 days.
L5.
20.
So 2 activities starts from 2 activities starts from the second node. They are 2-3 and 2-. Two equations are required to determine L2. Okay. Now, why this minimum is considered? Because all these minimum value is considered so as to see that the project completes on time, the project completion duration date. Okay, L2 is equal to minimum of L3 minus duration 2-3 and L5 minus duration duration of 2-5. If you have not understood anything, you are supposed to ask. If there is any doubts, you can ask it. Why all these things are done? To just see that the latest duration by when the activity should finish, that we are supposed to determine. So that is the reason we are calculating all these things. So by calculating all these things, we can definitely determine how late we can finish an activity. Now, the project manager cannot go beyond this particular duration. Okay.
L2 is 10 days, sir.
Which one? Minimum is 10 days, is it right? Correct, that's right.
10 days. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's right. So L2 will be equal to 10 days. That's right. What will be L1 in that case?
0.
0. And one of the ways how you can ensure whether your answers obtained in the final exam, is it right or not? How do we ensure that the answers are correct or not? So one of the way to ensure the obtained answer is correct or not is see whether L1 is equal to 0. You should get whatever may be the case, L1 should be equal to 0. Okay, that means you have done all the calculations right. Okay, that is one of the ways to know how whether your calculations are correct or not. So L1 should be equal to 0 for any problems. You take any problem, L1 should be equal to 0, and this the last node early start, that is in this case it is E6 or E8, I guess. Correct. So the early start for that should be equal to the project completion duration. Correct. Once this is done, for the next one, L2 is equal to 10. Next, L1 calculation. L1 calculation is nothing but what should be L1? L2 minus duration of 1-2, which is equal to 10 minus 10. Answer 0 compulsorily. L1 must be equal to 0. Okay, this is compulsory. You have to get L1 equal to 0. Whatever may be the problem, L1 should be 0. So if anyone has any type of doubts, so those who have already completed calculating this, just make a list of L1, L2, L3 until the last node. Then we will formulate the table. Okay, so I'll go to the next one. So can you tell me what were the different values of L? L1 is 0. L2 was how much?
10.
Next L3.
27.
7. L4.
37.
L5.
20.
L6.
35.
34. Is it right?
35, sir.
35. Okay. What about L7? Is it there? L7?
40. Yeah, 40.
That was the last, I guess, right?
No, L8 is the last.
What node is adjust the space? L6, L7, L8. So what is L8?
60.
60.
All right. So once this is done, next we are supposed to determine these are the latest finish for each node. Okay. These are nothing but late finish for each node. These are the late finish for each of the nodes. Highlight these two things, finish and node. Okay. How many activities are there? 8 activities. How many activities are there?
Eight.
8 activities. So just observe how we determine the latest start and latest finish for each of the activities, and then you can make note of the same. Okay. So these two are given in the question statement. 1-2 activity is there, and the duration of 1-2 is 10 days. Correct. Now, so what is the ending node of 1-2 activity? On which node the 1-2 activity finishes?
2.
So that node's value has to come here. L2 is how much?
10.
That is nothing but the latest finish. Latest finish. That means what? Latest by 10th date, the activity has to be. So is it done? So this is the latest finish. If latest finish is 10, what would be the latest to start?
0.
0.
0, because latest to start is nothing but latest finish minus duration. Okay. So we'll just write the explanation for latest determine. So late finish late finish minus duration is equal to late start. Late finish minus duration is equal to late start. Okay. Next, what about the next activity? 2-3. Is it right? Uh, 2-3. So what is the duration of 2-3?
8.
And 3-4 is there?
10.
3-4 is 10. Next activity is
4-7.
4-7. How much?
3.
3. So can you just continue calculating this? For this, what should be the value?
27.
27.
27. Yes, that's why. That's the reason for that is 27, because L3 has to be considered in this equation. Correct. And in that case, what will be the late start?
19.
10.
27 minus 8 is 19.
19.
19. That's right. Okay. Yes. So likewise, find out the rest of the values. So for the next activity, what will be the latest finish?
37.
Yes, the reason for that is we have to consider L4 as 37, correct? Once that is obtained, 37 minus 10, 27. That's right. What about the next latest finish?
L7. 40.
And what will be the latest start?
37.
37 should be the latest start. That means what, in case if you are starting the activity, if you are finishing the activity on the 7th node on the 40th day, just 3 days prior, you have to finish you have to start that particular activities. So that is the reason 37 and correct? So likewise, you have to just go on calculating rest of the activities. Let start and let finish. Okay, so just going ahead. What are the rest of the activities? Yes, what are the rest of the activities?
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
2 to
5.
2 to 5. 2 to 5. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay, next.
5
5
to
to
6.
Right. Next.
6 to 7.
Okay.
7 to 8.
Duration.
10.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
20.
So what will be the latest finish for this activity?
20.
20.
20. That is because L5 is equal to 20.
Yes.
What about the next one?
635.
Latest start?
10.
10.
10. Because 20 minus 10 will be the calculation. This is 10. Next.
L635.
35.
35. Correct. So 35 minus 15.
20.
20. Next. L7.
40.
40.
L7 is 40. And what is the answer? 40 minus 5.
35.
35. Next. L8.
60.
Correct? Yes. L8 is 60. And 80 minus 20, which is equal to
60 minus
40,
correct?
sir.
60
sir.
minus
40.
Sorry. 60 minus 20, which is equal to 40. Is right. Okay, so this is basically the value. These are basically the values. So right now we will not write any interpretation. We'll consolidate all these values and then we'll prepare a table and possibly not in the next class. If we can, we'll solve the we'll formulate a consolidated table in the next class and we'll try to interpret this. Okay, what is early start mean and what does latest start mean, and what will be the advantage for the project manager by having early start and the latest start? Okay, simple meaning is that latest start and the early start will actually provide a range of the duration by when project manager can start the activity. That is only one of the advantage. And if the project manager actually starts the activity within this particular range, then the project completion duration will be on time. Otherwise, it will go beyond the project completion duration. Okay, this is basically the interpretation. We'll see it in the next class. For now, you just make note of the next example. Okay. If there is any type of doubts, you can ask. Clarified. Usually these type of numbers, numericals, what will be done is it will be converted into the graph. Okay, in the bar graph, the early start, early finish, latest start, and latest finish can be easily indicated. Okay, possibly that will be the project work for all the students. They are supposed to calculate the early start and the early finish, latest start and latest finish for each of the activities. Once that is being calculated, next is you have to basically convert all those numbers into the graph. Okay, and then you have to give the interpretation. Why graph is being used is just by having one look into the graph, you can easily identify or make out. The project manager can easily make out the schedule part. Okay, when the activity has to be started or ended, what duration is permissible for the project manager, that can be easily understood. Otherwise, going through the numbers, possibly sometimes it may not be that feasible for the project manager to go through the numbers every time. But if the graph is in front of a project manager, the project manager can easily find out the range of date within which the duration has to be started. Okay, that is the main advantage of having the bar chart. Okay, so all right. So what was the second example on early start and early finish? Can anyone tell?
Conference batch.
Okay, conference. So just tell me the first two activities. First two columns, sorry. Activity and duration. How many activities are there?
7.
7. Okay. Just tell me these two columns, that is sufficient.
1 to 2.
Okay.
2 to 3.
Okay.
3 to 4.
Okay.
4 to 7.
Okay.
2 to 6.
Okay.
6 to 7.
Okay.
7 to 8.
I think both the problems seems to be same.
5 is missing.
That is the only difference between the two problems, the first and the second problem.
Node 5 is missing. That's it.
But this was the problem, second problem, is it right? Okay, so otherwise what we'll do is you can just make note of the next problem. Do not make note of this because I think there is no much difference between the first and the second one. What we'll do is we'll solve another problem. I think here you will have okay. Just do not make note of the problem. When I give you the confirmation, and just make note of the same. 2-3, 2-3, 2-4, 3-5, 2-4, 2-4, 2-3, 3-6. Can we have 3-6? No, I think it's 3-5. 3-5, 4-5, 2-5. Okay, so let us consider all these durations for all these activities. 1-2, 2-3, 3-5, and 2-5, 2-4, 4-5. Okay, so you can just make note of this problem. This activities 10, 12, 20, 5, 4. So duration is in days. So for this problem, you're supposed to determine the late start. You're only supposed to determine the late start and late finish for each of the activities. Okay, so for this problem, you're supposed to determine the late start and late finish for each of the activities. Okay, just try to find it out. So possibly this will be assignment for you. You do it by yourself. Possibly in tomorrow's class, we will completely solve this problem. Okay, all right. So those who are making note of it, they can be available on online. The rest of them can. Thank you. Class years can are supposed to give the absentees. Class years. Yes, are the class years present? Okay, thank you, everyone. All right, so we'll discuss this in the next class.
ఏది ఇంకా తినిపు చేయాలి గొప్ప గొప్పది వద్దు కాదు ఉండే గొప్ప కాలి